Hello, my name is Barbara Lewis with Singing After 40. Welcome. Today I'm excited about this video that I'm preparing for you. I've asked the question, what can we learn when we watch singers but don't listen? So I've chosen 8 singers, short clips of each, and I feel that in each clip they teach us something that's really important about singing that we might not see quite as clearly when we're listening. But we watch their faces, we watch their body language more carefully when we can't hear them. So here we go with number 1. The first singer has a face that's full of emotion. He maintains that emotion full face. He has an intimate style, and his eyes are often closed. Now it helps that he's sweating profusely. It gives him a very hard-working, hard-feeling look. But he also uses something like this scrunch right here, scrunches up his face, which a lot of pop singers do to reach the high middle range. But it also gives him a very pained look. It really, you feel the penetration of energy, of sad energy. And here he holds this long phrase, and then he goes into silence for quite a long time, and the audience just goes crazy. And then he finishes the phrase. But you can see this close up, how he maintains a huge amount of intensity, of personal emotional intensity that doesn't give up. Eyes closed, eyes a little bit open. He's really drawing us in with that. In the next clip, we're going to see him much, much earlier in his life. And the next clip, is, I believe, is a wonderful lesson in technique. You're going to see right into his mouth because of the camera angle. And it gives us a real sense of how a great singer like this person uses his voice. Again, he uses the eyes closed, eyes open to punctuate how he feels. Look at the inside his mouth there, how flat his tongue is. Not all pop singers sing with such a flat tongue, but he has a very wide and flat tongue. The back of his throat is beautifully sculpted. It's quite clear technique. Now you can see how he uses his body. He doesn't make many gestures. He's a big guy. And in the last clip, he made very few gestures too. So here, he was kind of pushing aside a feeling or pushing the space in front of him. Now he's telling us something that's important. But coming up is a very interesting gesture. And I think that what he's doing, perhaps he's also punctuating the words, but I think also in what he does coming up like this, that he's helping himself to sustain that high note, which you won't hear, but I think this helps him to keep it light, to not force. Just watch. Here it comes. High note sustained. Very interesting. In this next clip, I'm looking at a prop and how to use a prop to set a tone. Sometimes in singing, not many pop singers do this unless they're in musicals, but sometimes a prop can help to set a period, a time period, to give a feeling that then you just improve upon as you sing. But the prop really sets the feeling in motion. And you don't have to work for that particular feeling. So this is what happens in this next clip. So the feather boa is something kind of baby doll-ish and light and frothy. The song is frothy. It's Santa Baby. I'm kind of setting a time period here with the platinum hair, kind of Marilyn Monroe time period, the big bobbly earrings and the lights behind there. In the midst of all that, then I can tell the story in a very simple way because I've set the tone with a lot of props. And this next one, if that one was kind of a light, frothy sexuality, this next one is a harder energy sexuality. It's the song Fever. And you'll see what the body does in order to express that feeling of sensuality and sexuality. It's a little harder edged. Hand in hair, that also helps. reaching out like this. The movement of the shoulders kind of gives an I'm in control look, bouncing up and down. Again, it's kind of an energetic I'm in control. At one point, I decide that I'm going to do something a bit risky. Not that. That, again, is kind of a sexual thing. I decide I'm going to go down to the floor. And this is not something I suggest to many people all the time, but I kind of read the audience and I felt that they would accept this movement, but it's risky. And you could lose your audience by doing it. The next one is about painting the song with gestures and body shapes. And let's see what that looks like. Here's a very famous singer. In the beginning of this song, or it's actually somewhere through the song, it's a famous song and you probably know it. The phrasing undulates and she helps that undulation by making these hand movements, first in one hand, then in the other hand, and then she really shifts energy into something that's much harder edged. The song becomes very edgy and kind of angry. So just watch how she changes that. It's quite interesting. Undulation. Undulation in the other hand. But now the energy really shifts with this beautiful, tranquil blue background. She starts to stab the air. The fingernails come out. She punches the air. It's a very powerful way of expressing a song, helping a song to reach your audience by using those hand gestures. She also uses the shape of her lips, kind of curled up lips, to make the song come alive. And here's something that's quite different, where this singer uses very sparse movement. But she also, in a way, uses a prop. Her clothing is a little bit of a prop in this. It helps to punctuate. In this song, she was very, very quiet. Her arms were down. Now she's made one movement, and that was to cross her arms over her body. So she's using very few movements, but they're strong. And now the song is getting angry. And you can see how her jaw gets angry. And she shakes her head, and she moves her shoulders in this very dominant way and says, "No, I will not accept this." Her arms are down by her sides. You're not getting a lot of expression from there, but what she does do really speaks, and it speaks with the red dress, the red lips, the red hair. Really fascinating. Now in this one, this is, again, a very famous singer. And watch for the focus in the eyes. And you'll see that the body, he's big again, the body has tremendous strength. And while he maintains a loose jaw, he uses his mouth and his jaw to create kind of a strength of energy as he sings. And he's building up to a very high sustained note. And you'll see how he bites the sound. And you can see from the side, you'll see the back of the neck. You won't see the body, but you'll see the neck and the shoulder support as he goes up into this very high, long-held note. So he's building up energy. Tremendous focus in his eyes. His lips are shaping the sound very carefully. Now he's getting ready for this upper note that has two kind of biting motions. Here we go. There. Yeah. Again, he bites it. To hang on to that note. And his eyes look a little bit fearful, and now the fierce. I did it. Wasn't it amazing? And it was pretty amazing to be able to do that. Really wonderful. This next one is a woman who, again, is a very well-known jazz singer. And her style is really unusual. She has a very wide range voice, and she sings really, really low, and then she goes to the stratosphere, so it's like an operatic range. But she shapes the sound inside her mouth using really unusual movements. You'll see, it's quite fascinating and effective for her. And she gets a huge variety of sounds. Yeah, and then towards the end here, she's going to do a repeated high phrase that repeats and repeats and repeats, and the audience goes crazy. And you'll see the strength of the face, how she keeps the tongue very stable, everything stable, and she repeats and repeats. Pretty amazing technique. And here's a singer who uses just the opposite style. Very little movement, very calm body, almost placid face, but she's telling a story using little motion but a lot of eye energy. Little changes, subtle changes in the face. She's an older singer, and she's talking about being still here on stage even though she's older. So you can see the wry look on the face. Now you'll see she punctuates some phrases with her arms. Here comes one of them. Just a little bit. She's still telling this amazing story about lasting a long time. Emotion, emotion, another motion. Very simple clothing. Clothing doesn't get in the way of her story. So it's these arms against black. Very, very interesting. And this is the final one. I've chosen myself to show the highlighting of a high note for your audience because I want you to hear it, and I can't do that with another singer. I want you to hear what it sounds like to sustain this very high note, and then see how I tell the audience by lifting my head, lifting the microphone, lifting my arms. I tell the audience how difficult and how amazing it is to sing this high music. Here we go. So it's highlighting the difficulty of a high note in a song and giving your audience a bit more of a thrill rather than just singing it. Arms go up, microphone goes up. So that's how it looks. Here's how it looks without the sound. Up goes the microphone. Hands are going up, 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 elbows too, and out. I hope that this was interesting to you and that you found it valuable, and I hope that you'll do it for yourself when it comes time for you to learn a new song or to improve a song that you're working on right now. Barbara Lewis was Singing After 40. Bye-bye.